While the XRP chart was pumping all week, one account on the XRP Ledger dropped by almost 22 million tokens, then jumped by exactly 49 million inside of 2 days. The chart is looking bullish, but the Ledger was not. This is your XRP news desk, and today I've got 3 receipts. The whales who took 642 million coins off the market at the level that had holders worried, a momentum gauge that flipped while the price was still bullish, and 3 days reading from Ripple's stablecoin account that show the machinery breathing. Stay for the readings because the precision is the point. A ledger that counts the hundredth of a token doesn't leave much room for stories. So first, the tape everybody watched. XRP spent the week pinned at $1, dipped just underneath it, and then it had its record trading day, pushing right now to $1.15 inside the last 24 hours. It was flat and then a massive pop. And through all of it, the ledger underneath just keeps working. It publishes its own books all day, every day. No press release, no spokesperson, and this morning's book was number 106 million. It's processed over 1 million transactions a day for most of the past month. And how busy did the busiest day get? 3 million transactions cleared in early August in a single day. And that's the machine at full stride. Now here's the detail that frames everything else. The ledger does not say roughly 100 billion XRP exists. It says 99.9 billion. It's not an estimate, it's a true count to the hundredth of a coin on demand at any hour you ask. I want that precision sitting in your head because the first numbers I'm about to give you come off of that machine that doesn't round, doesn't exaggerate, and doesn't forget. The rest come from people reading that machine. And I'll tell you which is which as we go. So when the price says nothing's happening and the counting machine says plenty is, which one deserves your trust? My read is trust the count. Every time, and the count had a loud week. Start with Ripple's stablecoin because that's where the strangest movement was. The RLUSD issuer's account on the XRP Ledger carries a running balance of its obligations, and the ledger prints that balance to the hundredth of a token. So what is that balance in plain words? It's the count of dollar tokens the issuer owes into circulation. How many are out in the wild right now? Tokens, not dollars. Not a price, it's a count. And hold on to that distinction because that number counts coins. It does not price anything else. On August 18th, the balance read 897 billion. A day later, 875 billion. This morning, 924 billion. One account, 3 mornings, one direction. August 18th, the balance read 897 million. A day later, 875 million. Then this morning, 924 million. One account, 3 mornings, 2 directions. The balance breathed out, then breathed in deeper, down almost 22 million tokens, then up 49 million. And the rise itself is the strangest part. It lands dead even. 49 million tokens to the 100th. My read is a number that round doesn't drift on its own. Somebody issued it on purpose. So what kind of balance falls 22 million and then climbs 49 million inside of 2 days? It's a working one. A dead product doesn't do that. That account grows when new tokens are issued into circulation and shrinks when they're redeemed and destroyed. Machinery this desk already walked through yesterday, so a balance swinging both directions in 48 hours is a float being used, not a float being wound down. Parked money sits still, working money breathes, and this one took a very deep breath overnight. If you want these readings before they turn into somebody's headline, subscribe and like the video because this desk takes them off the ledger every single morning. Now the buyers, because a breathing stablecoin tells you the rails are busy, but it doesn't tell you who's standing underneath the coin itself. So who bought the level that had everybody nervous? Whale wallets did, and they didn't nibble. Between August 1 and August 18th, large XRP holders absorbed 642 million tokens around the $1 mark. 642 million tokens gathered into weakness. At the line, the market was treating like a trapdoor. And at $1 a piece, my math again, it's somewhere around $640 million of conviction, standing still. And it wasn't one splashy day, it was a pattern. In the first weeks of the month, Wallets holding between 1 million and 10 million XRP added 380 million coins, lifting that group's combined stack to over 8 billion tokens. That single band of wallets now holds more than 8 billion coins between them. Did the buying stop when the market kept sagging? No, 72 million more mid-month, then another 190 million on the 16th and 17th. They bought the dip, then the next dip, and then the one after. Right beside the buying, the count of XRPL transactions worth over $1 million jumped 280% on the 17th and 18th, past 38 of them a day. Those aren't lottery tickets. A transfer that size is a decision, not an impulse. And was it only anonymous wallets stepping in? No. On August 18th, the young US spot XRP funds took in $5.8 million of net inflows. And I'll be honest about the size. The report calls those volumes modest, and they are, but the direction was in, not out, on a week when they could have easily been. The report's own read of a bigger pattern is that the major players aren't lining up sales anywhere near this level, and the way that I read the most patient money in this market, treating $1 as a floor, is worth standing on while the most nervous money was still backing away. The nervous crowd is the one I'd worry about, not the standers. Now the flag I'll raise myself, so nobody else has to. Accumulation is a bet, not a guarantee, and big wallets can be early. But a lot of people spent the week treating the flat price as proof that nothing was happening, and the chain was quietly disproving them the whole time. So tell me in the comments whether you read that the buying was conviction or as a trading bounce. Now the signal printed underneath the falling chart. Through August, XRP kept putting in lower lows. The slide has run ever since July rebound faded, and every dip cut a little deeper than the last. That's the picture everybody saw, and it's real, but the relative strength index, and you can think of it as the force gauge strapped to the selling, stopped agreeing, while the price was stepping lower and lower. The gauge's low stepped higher, and it now sits at 39 and rising. Traders call that bullish divergence. In plain words, the sellers are still winning, but each push is landing softer than the one before. The dial is low, but it's pointing up while the price points down. And that disagreement is the whole signal. So does a divergence promise a bottom? No, and the report itself is careful here, so I'll be careful too. I'm very much hoping for higher prices, but the price can keep sliding or just sit still. And if $1 ever gives way again, the signal dies outright and the price goes looking for a floor once again, somewhere below its recent lows. Let's truly not hope that happens. I don't believe it will, but that is the honest version, and it's the one you're getting. The cleanest way to say what a divergence is, it's a warning against assuming the slide keeps falling at its pace. A yellow light, never a green one. And none of this is me telling you what to do. It's analysis, and this desk reads the gauge. It doesn't write prescriptions. But the signal came with a test attached, and the test has 2 marks on it. $1.04 is the first improvement, and the moving average is moving up to over $1.07. And it's where the case really starts to strengthen. And inside the last 24 hours, we're about to hit $1.16. Both of those first marks got touched within a single day of the signal being flagged. Holding is the part that counts, and that part is not settled yet. Above here, the heavier ceilings still wait, around $1.20, and then the long-term average is up near $1.34. So my read is this: it's a ladder, not a clear runway, but the momentum is starting at the exact level where 642 million coins just changed hands, and I find that hard to be a coincidence. I'm reading it very bullishly, so stack the week up with me, because the bear case needed 3 things to stay true. It needed the biggest wallets to stay scared, and instead, they absorbed 642 million coins. It needed the selling to keep its force, and instead, the gauge says every push is landing softer. And it needed the rails to go quiet at the worst possible moment, and instead, the stablecoin float grew by 49 million overnight, counted to the 100th of a token by a machine that never blinks. My read said plainly, a flat price on the top of a ledger this busy isn't a market dying. It's a market being ignored while the network underneath is still getting used. And those 2 conditions, the ignoring one is the one that never lasts. The chart called it a nap. The ledger logged a shift change. One of them is guessing, the other one is counted. Send this to one holder who watched the flatline all week and decided nothing was happening. Like the video and subscribe. Stack facts, not fear, and I'll see you in the next one.